TOMz.
What's up, South Africa? It's the best part of the afternoon as we bring you TOMz, proudly brought to you by SABC Education, only here on SABC 1, Zanzi for sure.
Njalo nje, hundreds of chemical reactions happen all around us. From uboili ketela lako, kuya kufry iqanda lako, it has everything to do with science.
And Kanamkanji will be doing the extraordinary by combining science with the love of food. Yes, you heard right, science in cooking.
We also have to consider that everything is made up of some kind of material, and the nature of these materials determine how the objects respond to outside influences, finding light and heat.
As if that is not enough, we'll also unravel the mysteries behind umbane and find out what resistors are, as well as get an idea of the general scheme of things when it comes to umbane in our country.
Of course, to socialize nani, so keep up with us on our social media pages throughout the show. We at now uThusent wakho.
Coming up on TOMz, find out why certain objects get hotter in the sun than others and what this phenomena is called. Sebenza umbane for yonke into. Learn more about the science behind it. Discover what's cooking when we go to the kitchen to mix up science and ukutya. Get behind the basis of chemical reactions to understand what they're all about. Go digital as we show you some apps to keep the brain alive. And take down some notes as we get valuable advice from our career counselor.
Ama objects get ahlukahlukene to one another because of the materials they are made of and the way these materials interact with each other.
Injalo kanye kodwa ke yonke lento ingenaphi ne-energy or chemical reaction. Sesaphuma ke sabuza lo nalo asike sibaba bathini bona.
But why amanye ama-objects bawabeka under the sun achise amanye angachisi?
It's because of the arrangement of my ions and the forces of attraction between the molecules, right? Yeah. It depends from substance to substance. Some molecules or matter, if we can put it this way, can sustain or remain solid under the sun's heat, depending on the temperature. As they are exposed to heat for a longer time, they begin to change phase. They either transit from liquid to gas or from solid to liquid.
Okay, sure. What is charge?
Transfer electrons to another substance.
It transfer electron to one object to another.
A charge, I'm not sure. I'm not quite certain about it.
Name two substances that are needed to form a chemical reaction.
Bicarbonate of soda and water.
What is a molecular gastronomist?
Oh, I'm probably next.
I think this is a study of how molecules behave in a particular substance or reaction.
Electric is a type of energy called electromagnetic radiation. Now, electric is visible light from ilanga, and it contains all the colors of the spectrum.
When light, or the energy of light as we might say, hits a material, different things can happen. The interplay between light and material is fascinating.
Like, have you ever gotten into imoto, guys, and then it had been standing elangeni for a while, and then it felt like you were going to boil? Because it's a boss song, it's because of the effect light has on the materials in and outside imoto layer. Light always travels in a straight line until it hits an object, amanzi. Kuba ke amanzi are smooth and shiny, it reflects the light off the surface. This also happens with some metal objects. But when light comes in contact with a dark surface like a car seat, the seat absorbs the light. The heat in the light is then stored inside, and that's why it gets so hot. This is called radiation, when heat is transferred between objects without them touching, like ilanga and the car seat. All objects, whether ziyabanda or zishushu, radiate energy. The hotter an object is, the more energy it radiates, and the warmer the air around it will be. Now, black absorbs more light because it takes up all the colors in the spectrum. White objects, on the contrary, are cooler because they reflect all the colors in the spectrum.
Okay, sisebenzisa mihla namalanga ngicabanga nje ukucharge iphone yakho, ukubuka iTV kanye nokupheka, but we never really think about all the systems that make electric power possible.
Njalo kanye ke umbane can get pretty complicated, but when you break it down into bits and pieces, it's much easier to understand. But because I'm going to lab to learn more about this amazing science. Check it out.
Cool, sakubanga mission yethu, we just touched down at University of Johannesburg. Kuzofunda kabanzi about energy and magnets. Ukuthi zisebenza kanjani together. Right now, sesifikile kuma labs wakhona. Come with me, let's go. Sesikhona la sifuna ukuthola kabanzi ukuthi kahle kahle i-magnet isebenza kanjani and how electricity is generated. No, Professor Wethu, welcome to TOMz, Professor.
Ngiyajabula madoda ukuthi nifike nizobona ukuthi i-energy siyigenerate njani sisebenzisa ama-magnets ne-electricity. Namhlanje ngizobe ngikhombisa nje ukuthi i-energy siyigenerate njani ngama-electromagnet. I-electromagnet ngizokuqala awunikeze nesipikili lapho.
Okay.
Udrati lona niyawubona nonke isipikili lesi uthatha lo drati njengoba nginikhombisa nje manje. Iwayela niyabona sipikiri sikhona lapha but kuze kube electromagnetic kufanele ukuthi kungena umlilo. Ungangena umlilo ngeke usibize nge-electromagnetic. Mawukhumbula kahle ngokuthiwa electromagnetic kune electricity kune magnet. Manje osokwenza so generator le speaker nalo drati ukuthi be magnet. I-power supply yethu le sisebenzisa ungayisebenzisa ne battery. Ya i-battery nje ungayithenga kushe store kuna positive kuna negative uyisebenzisa but nesebenzisa i-power supply. I-power supply yethu
yini okuhlukile phakathi kwe-battery ne-power supply?
I-power supply inomlilo omningi. I-battery after sisebenzisa la tuthatha isasebenzi seyiphelile umlilo but i-supply continuous kube kanjalo and much stronger than i-battery. Nangena le power ungene kule speaker khona kuzoba i-magnet. Otherwise ngeke umlilo ungene kule speaker ungakayikhoi. Masifaka umlilo la uzobona ukuthi kuno positive no negative. Mawufaka la uyabona ukuthi umlilo uyehla la because short shwangena kule speaker. 13.7 manje. Connector uyabona ukuthi uyadrop because short le power le current yangena manje. So yawudonsa. Imagine kuba usebenzisa i-battery encane. Ngabe mina manje sesicedile so niseni ekhaya but i-power supply yethu inomlilo omningi usasekhona upheli. So ngosenza njalo. So bese njalo. So sesiugenerateile i-electromagnetic yethu i-current yangena awunikeza i-pin lapha. Short isa generator. Yabona? Yatshengisa ukuthi umlilo ungenile sei-electromagnet yethu.
So ngitshela ukuthi how did ugesi lona utshintshe lento ukuthi ibe i-magnet?
Njengoba kusho anti electromagnetic. Uyangena umlilo i-flux ingena i-currency bese ya-release i-force. That's why bese become kuba i-magnet lapha khona ukuthatha umlilo. Sayibona le i-magnet lena i-bulb yethu lena i-coil yethu le sibiyela khona la siqale khona sizoyifaka manje le magnet la shothi kufuneka ama in lapha le cap lezovala ngayo lezovala ngayo la
ikhweliwe nayo nebulb nayo
kakhulu and uyabona ukuthi i-coil ngizoyishake manje ngabe iba on ngoba kungena umlilo la i-converter like i-motherboard i-converter kube i-DC kuze kuvele umlilo.
I-converter yena yenzani?
I-converter anti ungena i-AC la i-strong kakhulu AC ifike le motherboard i-converter kube i-DC. That's why le lambo bese liyakhanya. Yabona liyakhanya manje ilambo. So liyakhanya akudingeki no-to press yasebenza i-magnet yasebenza i-coil konke kwenzeka kahle. If bengekho le motherboard bekuzongena i-AC direct beyizosha le bulb.
So i-converter yenza ukuthi lingashi.
So uyabona ukuthi umsebenzi we-electromagnetic usebenza kakhulu because bengeyisebenza le magnet ihleli nje la. Iyo driver le energy ephuma la siyibonako la phambili.
Okay, Professor, ngike ngabona nekuma speaker khona le magnet yakhona le incane isebenza kanjani yona ukuthi ikhiphe i-sound because ngiyabona le magnet le yenza light. So le keep i-sound isebenza kanjani?
Le principle yafanana ukuthi nje khona uthola i-sound. So speaker sebenza kanjalo naso kushuthi le magnet anti speaker kune power. The power ngizoyibiza nge-current. Uya-connect i-speaker, no-connect i-speaker kunama-fields la. Kune-electromagnetic field, then kuphuma i-sound. Kushuthi i-energy yakhona iba i-audio. Yabona, le audio kushuthi i-sound. Akusi like lento nje kimi lapha i-globe, kuba is like kuba i-sound, ngoba i-audio. But the principle yafanana ngokuthi ispeaker ngeke sikhale ungakafaki ipower. Uyakhumbula?
Yeah.
Power ikhona ngiyo edrive ukuthi ispeaker sizesikhala. But kusebenza lama magnetic fields nakhona release i-force enza kube i-audio because ispeaker sakhiwe ngalendlela leyo ukuthi sibe i-audio. Asikakhiwa ukuthi sibe i-bulb like i-example yami engitshengisa yona namhlanje. Yeah. So isebenza kanjalo ke speaker. Lama fields nakhona ne-magnet iyo generator le force enza ukuthi khale isibe ne sound. Yeah. Ngizonitshengisa namanye ama examples like awunikeze nayo i-fan. I-fan your computer la. So yibona i-fan your computer nayo inama magnetic fields. Yabona. Inawo wonke nayo ikhoiliwe. Isebenza kanjani i-fan? Nayo i-power. Ngeke isebenze nje isebenzele kanje. Mase i-connector yiwo lama fields asebenzayo. But yona i-driver nokuthi kube ne-energy in terms of i-fan. Yeah, zonke lezi zinto lezi zi-related. Lapha sisebenzisa i-power in terms of i-bulb, in terms of i-light. Lapha sisebenzisa i-power in terms of i-fan, ukuthi drive i-fan. Ukhulume nge-speaker, naso sisebenza kanjalo in terms of i-audio. But yonke le principle iyafanana. Ukuthi le magnet yiyo driver lama fields, ukuthi kuphume into ezwakalayo.
Okay, so Ngoku, we already know a lot about the energy and the materials, especially about how ukukhanya, umbane as well as ubushushu zisebenza njani zonke.
Manje sathi give kodwa bese sibuya we dive right into our next segment on chemical reactions. Ungayendawo.
Bake wahlala wacinga what's the story behind the way ukutya kuphekwa ngayo? Or kutheni when you've baked a cake, you can't take apart its ingredients again and use them the way they were before? Hlala uhleli ke ukuze wena uzokwazi. TOMz. Sinesamukele Mzansi siphinda sabuya apha ku TOMz apha ku SABC Mzansi for sure.
Semnandi ke phela bongo grand. Okay, bafethu there are a lot of things we use every day and futhi ke singazi kahle kahle ukuthi le science lay behind it ithini. Namhlanje ke sikwi-mission yokuthi sithole kabanzi about energy and the effect it has on our materials.
Injalo kanye so far ke sifundile about the tendency of dark objects to absorb light from ilanga and get warmer, while shiny objects like metal tend to reflect the light. We also discovered that electrons are the heart of electricity and move around in conductors.
But there is still a lot more to learn, and in the next segment we'll look at the chemical reactions and the role they play emzini yethu noma endlini zethu.
Chemical reactions cause one substance to turn into a different substance. Kodwa ke ngamanye amaxesha just the color or shape changes, but other times explosions occur and yonke into looks completely different afterwards.
Siyazi ke ukuthi yonke into is made up of molecules. During chemical reactions, the bonds between molecules are broken down and new molecules are formed. Sometimes two substances combine, called the synthesis reaction. Other times, decomposition occurs, which breaks up a substance into many different substances.
Injalo kanye, we realize that everything that happens in the kitchen during cooking is a chemical reaction. Crazy, right? Well, professional chefs are using science to change the way we look at food forever. Check it out.
We're down to with TOMz. How are you doing, Ashley?
I'm good, thanks. How are you doing, Katie?
I'm good. Welcome to TOMz.
Thank you.
So, tell us, what do you do and what is all of this?
My name is Ashley Femanovich and I'm the chef and owner of many corporate catering and events. We try to introduce interesting goodies into people's everyday food that they eat.
Okay, so tell us, what is molecular gastronomy?
So basically what you do is you have a variety of different techniques, all involved in studying the physical and chemical processes that occur in the ordinary process of cooking food. The first of which that we're going to look at is called sous vide cooking. So normally what we would do is you would utilize a sous vide circulator such as this, which basically maintains the temperature of the water in the pot at a constant for a predetermined period of time. The sous vide is basically, it's a French word for under vacuum. So typically what you would do is you would place whatever the food item is that you are cooking in a plastic pouch such as this, and then you would seal it and vacuum pack it so that there is little air inside. Then is you would predetermine the time and the temperature at which you will be sous videing your particular item. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this egg into our sous vide circulator and we're going to time it for 14 minutes. Okay, the second technique that we're going to talk about is the use of an espuma gun. The concept is that you can turn any liquid into a mousse denti foam. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a croissant foam. You put your croissant into the pot. You're then going to add some cream and some milk, a pinch of pepper and a pinch of salt. So basically now we've put all the contents for the croissant foam, which was your broken up croissant, the cream, the foam, and your salt and pepper. We're just going to give it a bit of a mix, and then we're going to put it on the heat and bring it to the boil. So we brought the mixture of the croissant with the milk, the cream, the salt, and the pepper to the boil. So now we're just transferring this into the actual cup. Okay, so now the whizzing. So if it is a little bit thick, you can always add a teeny tiny little bit more milk. Now what we're going to do is we're going to transfer this into our spuma gun. And our egg in our sous vide machine is going to be done shortly. Hence you'll see in front of me a bowl of iced water. What we're going to do when we take the egg out of the water from the sous vide circulator is we're going to plunge it into the bowl of iced water to stop the cooking process. So now you'll see we've put our mixture into the spuma gun siphon. Okay, so you get two different types of gas that you can charge this with. So this cartridge in particular contains nitrous oxide. So what we're going to do is we're going to charge it twice. And you'll hear a release of gas. Basically, that is the gas being forced out of the cartridge into the actual siphon. So what the gas does is that it actually increases the volume of your liquid inside by up to about 4 times. Introduce the nitrous oxide. This is just the test bowl. And voila, you have foam. So let's move back to our egg now. Basically what we did is we cooked it sous vide, 75 degrees for 14 minutes, and then we plunged it into iced water just to stop the cooking process. So let's crack this baby open. Just be very gentle. The proteins have denatured at different temperatures. Okay, so what we're doing is we're just going to remove the top layer of the eggshell and then slide it out onto a spoon. So there you have it, your beautiful soft sous vide egg. All right, so some of the advantages of cooking the sous vide method prevents overcooking because of the fact that it's cooking at a constant temperature for a predetermined amount of time. You will never overcook the food. Also, it maintains the nutritional value of the food because unlike boiling just sort of in a normal pot and the actual food item is not in any kind of container within the water, you lose all the nutritional value to the water that's in the pot.
So it's funile that substances that go into a chemical reaction are called reactants and lezinto eziphuma phakathi kwale product. When the product cannot be turned into a reactant, lena siyibiza nge-irreversible reaction ngoba it can't be reversed. Reversible reactions are opposites. Lana reactants constantly produces products and the products constantly produce reactants. Lana siyibiza nge-reaction in equilibrium, a fancy word of balance ngoba nothing final happens. Many substances react with oxygen. Basishisa inkuni, it reacts with oxygen in the air to produce heat, which breaks down the structure of the wood and turns it into ash.
We mustn't confuse chemical reactions with mixtures and solutions though. In mixtures, the chemical structure of the molecules don't change. They just like to get cozy with one another.
Whereas in solutions, the molecules are mixed and evenly distributed like dissolving sugar in a cup of tea.
We'll be back soon to find out about chemistry and discover some of the insane discoveries that use chemicals to do cool things.
See ya, boy.
Do you know how chemistry started out or want to try out your own hand at a few experiments? And sabe sikroba lonto emveni kwekhefu. TOMz. TOMz. Teenagers on a Mission, proudly sponsored to you by SABC Education, only on SABC 1, Mzansi for sure.
Yes, but now Sagwe Mission namhlanje ukuthi sithole kabanzi about the science behind everyday things. Sithole kabanzi about energy, electricity and chemical reactions lapha in kitchen. Manje ke soyisikhathi ukuthi discover where it all comes from and where it's going.
You're still keeping up with us on social media throughout Ngqubo.
Alchemists used chemical reactions to produce potions and medicines, and the practice of alchemy contributed to chemistry.
However, they could not explain the science behind the result. They set the stage for chemistry to evolve. In 450 BC, Greek philosopher Empedocles formulated the theory that yonke into is made up of 4 primal elements, being the earth, air, fire, and amans. Now, in the 8th century AD, a Muslim astronomer called Geber developed early experimental methods for chemistry and is known as the father of chemistry. In 1661, Robert Boyle published some of the earliest modern ideas of atoms, molecules, and chemical reactions. In 1794, Joseph Proust stated the law of definite proportions, which helps us define the chemical equations. More recently, in 2010, researchers discovered that they could trace where someone's been by analyzing their hair. Because of the chemicals in the substances you drink, like wine or beer, the molecules will give away their source and tell your recent travels. They've also been able to make robotic hands that work by receiving signals through chemicals and not electricity. More recently, scientists have found a chemical that can prevent the death of brain tissue, which will help in fighting against brain diseases like Alzheimer's. Elab gets about the science behind umbane and that resistors can be put into a circuit to regulate the current. Resistors can also be used to find chemicals in light bulbs, which convert electric energy into light energy.
When I about how circuits work and the material things are made of, then check out these awesome cool apps and websites.
Young India that is around us is made out of different materials, and the Alchemy Classic HD is the ultimate puzzle game that will help you to discover the true nature of things while ufunda more about different industries. If ugesi is your thing, then download electronics for kids to your mobile device. Here uzokona work at different types of circuits and ufunda kabanzi how using different components will influence your design. For those of you who really want to get their hands dirty, check out www.sciencekids.co.nz/experiments. Lapho uzothola tons of cool experiments you can pull off using everyday ingredients, like making invisible ink and glowing water. You'll also get to know more about the science behind the reactions.
Many universities and colleges in South Africa offer programs in hospitality management. Generally, you would need a matric with an endorsement of a bachelor's degree or diploma, at least 40% for English and maths or maths literacy, an APS score of at least 23. If you'd rather get a qualification for the guest house industry, you can study towards a diploma in guest house management. Here you will need to have a grade 10, be at least 16 years old, and read and write in English. Right here on our social sessions.
It's pretty awesome from what I've seen on today's show. It will keep getting better and better. Now go to TOMz, always has your back. Technology and science galore.
It's amazing when I see now that everything and anything can be turned into a career nowadays. Quiet, thanks to science and technology, opportunities are endless. Oh my God, wena ufuna ufana nothando. Ungathini ungaqhamishelana nathi on amanatha ethu omjelo, being Facebook and on Twitter. On Facebook we are TOMz and on Twitter we are @TOMz_SABC_1. With that said, keep on tweeting. And that, as they say, is a wrap. So tonight for spending the afternoon with us, learning about energy, materials, the ins and outs of chemical reactions.
Yeah, but yes, but so you can ask us anything sci-tech related. Post on our Facebook and Twitter pages and now, or you can simply go to www.tomz.co.za for more info.
Before we go, check out what's in store for the next episode.
Adios.
Next time on TOMz. We uncover a laser of light, we visit laser creations, and sifunda about lasers. Sifunda about visible light, where it falls in the electromagnetic spectrum. Ungalibali wena ukubukela uTOMz qho ngemivulo nangoLwesibini ngensimbi yesine only here on SABC 1 Mzansi for show.